And welcome to a live edition of The Bond Chronicles. I am one of the amazing hosts of this super dope podcast, and I am Mr. Bond Chronicles on Instagram and Mr. Ray Bond on Twitter. On there today, got to get my name right, but I'm blessed to be here with my host.
Mrs. Bond Chronicles on Instagram. I don't care about Twitter. Robin Bond on Facebook. Y'all know where I'm at.
So we have a very entertaining show for y'all. We are picking up off of where we were in last week's live, where we're in the series of societal no-nos. And to start things off right, we have sound effects doing big things, continuing to grow. My host may not like it, but I love it, so I'm gonna do it again because that's what I do. And I have the singles just in case. So this is not necessarily for the singles, but maybe you were in a relationship and now you are single, and maybe you dealt with some of the things that we are going to talk about today. And just like last week, we are going to throw out the traditional mindset of what should be happening in certain situations to make everyone's life a whole lot easier. But before we get into that, did you have anything that you want to say to the people?
No, I think I'm good, ready to go. Get it started. I'm trying to share this so everybody knows that we're live and all that good stuff. Thanks for joining us this evening. Yeah, we can get into it.
All right. So we're going to start right off at the top. And I feel like this is something that, this is something I know everyone does. And a lot of these things, when we get into them, it's kind of like, where did they start? How did they happen? Whose idea was it? Who drove this train? And then it became a runaway train. So we're going to start with farting in a relationship. And so this is something that I have experienced with a number of different people. And for some reason, it's really awkward. I joke about it with our kids and it's fun. But for whatever reason, only in relationships is it taboo to fart around your partner. And so I don't know where that came from, but what are your thoughts? Well, how did we get here and why is it so weird?
I think it's just a general thumb of etiquette that you don't just fart
But why
around
is it a
people
thumb of etiquette? Who
because
did that?
because it stinks, bro. On a crowded train, if everybody just let loose, do you know how awful that would smell?
Yes, but there's also plenty of loud farts that don't smell like anything.
Even though that it don't matter, you don't because it's nasty.
But it's natural. It's your
It
body
is. It's 100.
cleansing itself of impurities.
So it is. It's 100% natural. But nobody should be subjected to your funk just because. It's the same way that you wouldn't encourage somebody to walk around with musty armpits or just body odor in general is offensive. It's nasty.
So what you're telling me is, in a relationship,
Oh, no, no. So in a relationship,
that's the whole topic of
no,
the
no, no,
episode.
no. I was saying in general, you asked me why the rule of thumb, etiquette, was you don't fart. But in a relationship, you're with your partner, you should be able to just let it go. You complain all the time when I pass gas.
Because yours stink.
So do yours, bro.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
They don't.
Yeah, they do.
I know,
I don't know why you think your inside smells like roses, but they don't.
If I know that what's coming is savage, I tuck it or I hide it. Yes, I do.
No, you don't. And the thing about it is, you be cutting big. It's like loud, huge farts,
but they don't stink.
Sometimes they do.
Rarely do they stink.
And mine don't always stink.
They'll stink bad. You know how many times I've walked into or went to get under the covers or something, and I get punched in the face, and I'm like, "Yo, you farted," and then you just sit there with this silly look on your face. At least let someone know. I think that's the etiquette.
And you don't be letting people know that you're about to fart.
Yeah, but it doesn't stink.
So it don't matter.
It does matter. The whole point and reason farts and burps, for that reason, you want to add that to the mix, are offensive is because of what it does to the senses of people who are unsuspecting. Like if you're in a car or on a train and you just let it go, people don't care that you farted until they smell it. And then that's when it's like, oh, this is awful. But yeah, that's what causes it.
I sat at full disclosure, y'all. I sat at the desk today after I drank my coffee and was letting loose. And you didn't say anything.
I didn't smell it. Thank
Exactly.
God. Thank God.
So it's not that they always stink.
That's when it's a problem.
Fine, whatever. But like you said, in a relationship, I don't think it should be that big of a deal. Like if you're uncomfortable to fart around your partner and y'all been together for any amount of time, for real, I can get like the first couple months because y'all are still trying
couple
to be cute.
Months? Your insides are probably dying after a couple months. If y'all are going out to eat, you're going on dates, y'all are eating fine dining and weird cuisine, or somebody's cooking for one another, like you're gonna feel it. Yeah. And like whatever we had that other day, that pizza, either the pizza or the Chinese the other day, had me in a bad spot. Like I felt bad. Courtney cleaned the bathroom downstairs. It went down. And that's probably too much for y'all for right now, but that's what happened.
Can't believe we're talking about farts on the live, but whatever. Like, because in the first couple months you're still trying to be cute and all of that. So when you have to,
so is it gender specific?
It probably is, because I know as a female, like I try not to pass gas, poop, or anything offensive odor wise, like for a little bit. Like even when my ex, when I would go overseas, like I would wait until he was like super, super, super asleep before I would go poop. I would just hold it.
That doesn't make any sense.
I know that's just the thing. Like you don't want to gross somebody out like off break.
But that's getting to the premise of everyone does it. Yeah. So why is it gross? You fart, you poop, you stink. Why are you going to condemn somebody else for being their true selves?
You just do.
Well, as I said before, these are things that we are tearing down the fabric of our culture, and we're breaking these barriers. It is okay to poop and fart when you're in a relationship with someone, and even while you're dating, because you're going to do it once you're married. So God forbid you find out that someone has explosive diarrhea after you married them, then you're going to be real upset when you got to keep cleaning that bathroom. So that's something that if you learn ahead of time, it's better to just let it go.
To your point, Michelle Jackson just said, holding it is dangerous.
It's a combustible situation. It's a powder keg. And you know what ends up happening? You hold it so long that you're trying to keep it in. It finally comes out, and it's way, way worse. Like I remember we were doing those detox teas.
Oh man!
And there was a couple times I was holding it because I couldn't do, and then I went to fart, and I was like, oh, that's a little bit more than what I thought was coming there, and I had to run out of there.
No, when you're doing a detox, you shouldn't be holding anything because your body's trying to get it all out. So
I've learned.
Don't be doing that.
And to Tiana, why do I got to get up? So you're in the bed, you're watching TV, you're Netflix and chilling, you're Hulu and hanging or whatever it is. I just made that up. Don't just go with it.
Okay, just go with it.
I'm not about to get up out of the warm bed, especially this time of year when it's cold, to go walk in the bathroom, close the door, fart, and then come back. That's absurd. We're dating. I've seen you. I know you. I just don't think that's necessary. If we're out in public or we're in a car, I'm not about to stop the car, go to McDonald's, try and get into McDonald's, put my mask on, take my mask off, back and forth, just to walk in the stall and fart. That's ridiculous. It's bonding.
I mean,
builds character.
I mean, you don't do any of those things anyway. Like, you just fart when you fart.
I believe that's how God created us.
Well, you just keep doing it.
Could you imagine life in the garden with Adam and Eve? They didn't even have clothes on.
Yeah.
They were just farting. And animals are just farting. And they was on like fruits and lettuce diets. Because they had like gardens. They wouldn't eat meat. My stomach hurt. They weren't eating meat. They was eating the good stuff. You know what that is? Keeps you regular.
What's the next thing? What's the next?
On to the next.
No.
Feel free to be comfortable in your true you. So this one is a lot more serious. So we're going to take a bit of a turn, but I think it's also very important. And I am someone who likes to ask this question early in a relationship so that you can have what?
I was just go ahead. You got it.
All right. Because I think it's important, but I also think it can be uncomfortable for people. And as we talked last week, I think it was last week, we were talking about asking who you voted for and some other things that are personal.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you got bad credit, you got to own that you got bad credit. You might have a good reason why you have bad credit. It could be divorce. It could be co-signing for friends and family that sucked. It could be a variety of different things. But if you got bad credit, you should tell someone. So the next thing that we want to talk about is disclosing if you have bad credit, and there was something else that you switched the screen on, and asking about credit scores. So at what point do you think it is okay to have that conversation, and why does it take so long?
I think especially in today's world, it's important to ask those questions to get an understanding of where your partner is financially. And if your partner I wouldn't even say that you're at your partner stage. Like, you probably should know these things about the person that you're interested in and potentially going to be in a relationship within early. So you can decide if that's something that you want to take on. Because, like it or not, when you decide to be with someone and get married and all that other stuff, like, their credit is your credit, their debt is basically your debt. And if y'all are trying to buy a house and this person's credit score is a 420, like,
Didn't you have that?
I think you can.
Can it be that low?
I mean, it's from 0 to
No, you can't have a 0 credit score.
I mean, not 0. Well, no, because before you establish credit, what is your credit score?
It's NA.
It's nothing. It's 0.
But it ain't 0.
Oh.
I don't think.
But no, like, you can have something as low as 300.
Oh my God.
And then anything, I mean, like, I don't know what you do with it. I don't even know how you get a 300. But you can have a really, really low score like that. I know that you can definitely have about low 500 because when they do the ads.
Yeah, I know you can have below 5, but you say like 3. I was trying to see what the lowest is, and it doesn't look like they have it. It's going to take me too long. But oh no, a poor credit. Yeah, you got 300.
Yeah, so like if their person has like a 300 credit score, it don't really matter how great yours is. That completely cancels out any good that you can possibly do. And so, like, that affects a lot of financial decisions. And unfortunately, in relationships, people only break up really, well, not only for 2 things, but most common things are sex and money. And you can only hide bad credit or, all insurmountable amount of debt for so long with good sex. That show Love is Blind on Netflix.
Don't watch it.
I watched the first season. And so the premise is they get to know each other in a bubble and like they talk and all this. And then they decide, I want to marry this person. They ask them to marry them. Person says yes. Then you finally get to meet. And then you get to spend,
so you get engaged with somebody you've never seen?
Yes. That's why Love is Blind. Like, you get it? You get it?
I mean, I get it. That's dumb.
Anywho, and then you get to spend, I think they got to spend like 60 days together.
Okay.
And then they got like actually married. And one of the couples on the show, Amber and Barnett, they got married. And then Amber told him that she had like $400,000 of like student loan debt. She was living in an apartment with a roommate. Her credit was all screwed up. Like, she was in a bad way. And Barnett's just living in his own home, owning a company, like really like successful financially. And like when he heard the number, and it was just like, what am I supposed to do with that? But had they had that conversation early, he probably would have picked somebody else. But
I would.
It's important.
Yeah, I think I definitely agree that it's important. And again, like this is something that I've tried to have the conversation up front. I think there's a way you go about having a conversation. Um, but I would not claim someone as a significant other if I don't know what your money's like for a number of reasons. One being, especially if I'm a girl and it's a guy, if I know your credit sucks, you got a bunch of debt, and you taking me on a bunch of dates, something ain't adding up. Somewhere you are borrowing, something you're doing ain't right,
Okay. I'm like, huh?
and you ain't paying your bills, or you're struggling to get by. Like, there's just so many different aspects that, for me, associate with bad debt. Typically, that's a lack of responsibility. Typically, that's bad money management. It also, savings and things like that. If you maybe you don't have debt, but you have no savings, you're just living every single paycheck to paycheck, like that is tough to build with someone once they're at a certain age. Now, fresh out of college, entry level jobs, that makes sense. But if you're in the dating and marriage game, like you're starting to talk like that, you should probably have some more things established. And in my experience, it's going to be real awkward when you got to have conversations about, so I'm not putting you on anything because they're going to pull your credit and your credit sucks. And that's going to raise our interest rates. And so now we're going to be paying more. So you just got to sit this one out. And then similar thing with, like, if you have a bad driver, when they find out y'all live together, you have to add that person to your account.
So did adding me to the insurance make our insurance go up?
Yes.
How much? A lot? A lot?
It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't good. And thankfully we had the forgiveness, so it didn't skyrocket. But it's going up for other reasons. But no.
Yeah.
The same thing when you add kids to your policies until they hit a certain age. Like, there's a cost associated with that because of the fear of what they might do, which they haven't done, which is stupid and a scam. But things like that matter. Like things that don't typically come up in conversation. Just, oh, he's so pretty, or oh, she got a nice body, or oh, she has a good job, and we just click and we just talk about everything, and life's great. Start talking about these important things. Like, what are their goals financially? Like, how long have they had bad credit? Is this like a recent thing because of a bad situation, or you just always had bad credit? Like, is your debt just student loan debt, or do you got like credit cards because you just be shopping and you don't know how to pay stuff off? Like, all of that should, I believe, happen a lot earlier on. And I think specifically in our culture and community, it's so taboo to ask how much you make and what do you do. And for the longest time, we didn't even know that Tommy had a job.
Tommy had no job.
Tommy had a job.
What was his job?
We don't know.
No, Tommy had no job.
So how did Tommy pay for all the stuff Tommy paid for? Because Tommy was clean.
Tommy was a drug dealer. That's why Tommy.
So it's a job.
I mean, it's not a real job, but sure.
What? How's that not a real job?
Because it's not a real job. You can't file the taxes on it, so it's not a real job.
So that's what defines a real job?
Yeah. In the eyes of the government?
No. No one cares about the government. Government's crooks. But that's interesting. I didn't know you thought that way.
No,
but yeah, I think that.
So because it's such a taboo thing, or it's something that you don't technically really talk about, when you ask someone and they don't give you a response, or you don't get the response that you need to make an informed decision about said person, then what do you do? Do you keep pressing the issue?
You're asking me?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, I feel like we deal with that now. Like, if I ask you a question and you don't answer my question, this got me in trouble at work and a whole bunch of other places. Like, you ain't gonna BS me. Like, no, I need to know. Like, I'm not, like, I have a problem with letting stuff go. Like, I'm just not good at it.
No, you're right.
Like, I might walk away from it for a little bit, but I know
you'll circle back.
I know that I'm uneasy, and it's just something in me that I just can't let go.
It festers.
Yeah, it's like, but she ain't answer. Or and the only time I do let it go is, like I said, on my job, and that's usually once I realize there's like contention and like, I know y'all lying, and now I let you know that I know you're lying, but I'm just gonna let it go because I got kids and I gotta take care of them. But y'all be lying and y'all be omitting and not answering questions, and I just don't believe it.
None of your coworkers are like friends of yours on Facebook or anything.
No,
it's like we're live and you talking about them.
No, not them. Like, I don't think my bosses are. But they know they be lying.
True enough. Tiana says, look, oh, LOL. Okay, that's an illegal job.
There you go. A job's a job. I don't knock nobody's hustle.
Fine, whatever.
Well, for the most part.
I was gonna say yes, you do, but
like what?
Like you don't like politicians.
But I don't get mad at how they feed their family. I just think they're crooked. Like
True
I
enough.
don't knock how most anyone eats outside of like maybe human trafficking. Like,
Yeah,
that's usually where I kind of draw the line. Outside of that,
so drug dealers are cool.
I'm good with that.
Thieves, scammers, they're straight.
Yeah, definitely. What was that movie?
As long as they're not stealing from you.
I've got scammed, and I just gotta I gotta respect the hustle. And then I laugh at the people that suck at scamming. Like this, the people that call and they send me these emails that just look copy and pasted and jumbled together. Like I laugh. Like certain people text me stuff, and I'll be like, "How much you gonna pay me?" Like I engage and like all these fake people we be getting on Instagram and all that. Yeah. All these like people, yeah.
Although today it was funny, I got a one of those brand ambassador messages. So I just interacted with them just to see. And then so I went and tried to use the code. The code was actually valid. It was like for 50% off of some stuff. I was like,
but how much was the stuff?
It wasn't actually that bad.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I've done that like twice. And t-shirts are like $150.
No.
You get 40% off with your code.
No, yeah. I was thinking about how to know that because at least I get some cool jewelry out of it. So yeah.
Okay.
Anywho, moving right along to the next thing.
So we have
not dealing with kids' parents.
Yeah.
Now you came up with these notes and I looked over them, because I didn't want to walk into this blind.
Yeah.
But that was one I wasn't sure where you were going with it because I know kind of your stance on dealing with people's kids' parents.
Mm-hmm.
So
society has painted this narrative that you need to work in conjunction with your significant other's kid's parent. No, I don't. Like, we don't need to take pictures together. We don't need to do recitals together. We don't need to sit together. We don't need to do holidays together. If y'all wanted to do holidays together, then y'all should have been together. Don't text my phone. Don't call me asking where somebody's at. That has nothing to do with me. Now, if you want to be in that awkward situation, knock yourself out. But this idea that it's wrong or you're petty or you're childish or any of these other concepts because I don't want to deal with your ex or whatever that person is, I think is wrong. And I don't owe it to anybody to accommodate y'all's situation if I don't feel like it.
So, obviously, I have so many questions
Let's talk
about that. It's like, one, why is it an issue for you to have a cordial relationship with someone who, and especially if it's someone who's not making drama in your life?
I don't like you.
Why don't you like them? You don't even know them.
And I'm good with it.
But why don't you like them?
Because I don't know them.
So having a cordial, because you don't know them, you don't like them.
Yeah, it's typically how it goes. Like, so here's the thing. We go to the stores all the time, right?
Yeah.
We go to the mall, we go shopping, we go out, we see people.
Yes.
How often do we stop and talk to those people we don't know?
Never.
Why not?
There's no reason to.
Boom. Thank you.
That's not the same thing.
That is the same thing.
That is not the same thing.
That is the same thing. I have no reason to talk to this stranger. Stranger danger.
That is not stranger.
That is stranger danger.
No, that is not stranger danger because one, you're raising that person's kid. You're helping to raise that person's kid.
I am.
So they're not a stranger because if you love the kid, regardless of anything else, you're going to do what you need to do to make sure life is easy to raise said kid.
My relationship is with my son or daughter.
Right. And your relationship is with your son or daughter's parent.
No, it's not.
like the one that you're with.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so you being all hurt in the butt,
It's not hurting the
and
butt.
not communicating with the other person just because you don't know them. Like, that's so.
I don't
dumb.
need to know them. They don't need to talk to me. We need to have. What is the point of us talking? What are we talking about?
You can talk about the kid that you both love.
I don't need to talk to the other dad, loser mom, or whatever because of what? For what?
Because
I'm over here taking. The only time I would have something to say to him is if the woman, and actually I wouldn't. That ain't my place. In this case, the woman I'm with, she need to tell her, dude, if our kid is coming back acting crazy, get him in order, or he ain't going over there no more. Or she. I'm not stepping the dude saying, yo, you're being a bad dad. That is not what I'm doing. That is not the drama I need in my life.
But what I'm saying, because there's a difference between someone who's causing drama in your life and someone who is helping.
Thank you, Reggie.
Your life. Don't nobody care what Reggie said.
Reggie, I care what you say. Shout out to the man. Reggie Van, the man, can't tell him nothing.
It's not even that they're causing issues in your life.
It is.
They're not. If not all relationships in that manner are bad. People can successfully co-parent with ease. You pay your child support on time. You pick your kid up when you're supposed to pick them up. You show up when you're supposed to show up. Those types of people deserve common courtesy. And you're just like, oh, this dude, he's trash because he's trash, and I'm going to treat him like trash, even though he's never done anything to you.
I treat him like I would treat anyone else I don't know.
So you're in a relationship for 20 years, and you've raised this kid for 20 years. You're going to say no words to this man for 20 years?
If it was up to me, absolutely.
Lord Jesus, I'm going to pray for your soul. Like,
I have no reason to talk to that person.
But you have no reason to hold any animosity.
It's not animosity, either. But
I don't know them. I don't want to get to know them. Blah, blah, blah. Like, that sounds awful.
I feel the same way about the homeless person that I see at the corner, or the woman in the grocery store, or the opposing team's parent. Like, I have no interest. And the likelihood y'all aren't together, something happened. So I've probably heard some of those things.
But I'm saying, and so, again, in an ideal situation, you have no reason to have an issue with them. Now, I can see if they broke up, people break up, and it's bad terms, it's bad.
Everyone breaks up because of bad terms. No one breaks up because life is great.
What I'm saying, Ray, is if the relationship is over, and you don't have the person who you're in a relationship with has no issue with the person that they had a kid with, then you shouldn't have an issue with said person. So communicating with that person for any bevy of reasons, specifically involving the kid. Now, nobody's asking you to be besties with this man, go hang out with them just because you want to hang out with them. Like, that's unnecessary, especially if that's not something you want to do. But if he's coming over for a birthday party, we all standing around singing happy birthday. Oh, you got him, you got her. This.
You've said
that's a good gift, bro.
You are their parent, right? You have a birthday party. You're not coming to our birthday party.
That's not cool.
What?
Why wouldn't they be invited to the birthday
So
party?
we do all this stuff to have this elaborate, fun birthday party. We're going to bring you around. For what?
They probably help pay for it. Again, I don't know how many successful co-parenting relationships you've actually seen firsthand. And I'm just going to assume like none. But all people who are able to co-parent don't have this toxic, volatile relationship.
No one's saying it's toxic or volatile. And I actually know quite a few. I'm simply saying there's no value in it, and I shouldn't be forced to deal with that situation. I didn't get involved with that dude. I got involved with you and your son. Kid. Correct. That's where it ends. That's where the ownership ends. And don't give us no money for our party, because then you have this entitlement that you're invited. You're not. You can have a party over on your side. You can do Christmas at your house. Like, there's custody probably involved. There's some other aspects, but I shouldn't have to interact with you. For what?
You sound childish.
For what?
You just sound childish. I'm sorry. I can't get with that. That just seems
Like,
so
you want this
childish.
kumbaya moment.
Nobody said that you have to have
so
a
you keep
moment.
saying that it's not toxic, it's not this, but there's a bunch that are. And so in those situations,
then you can act like a butthead if you want to, or you can keep your distance unless you necessarily have to jump in it. I'm saying specifically for situations where the two parents are good with each other, there's no reason for you to be this standoffish shadow in the background, acting like you too good to socialize with somebody because they had a kid prior to you being with the mom before you. Like that, like I said, that just sounds childish to me.
And I might be too good.
You are a character. We just gonna leave it at that. We better not ever split up then, because you're gonna be mad.
We've already discussed if we split, it's going to be awful. And my motivation based on how things go is going to make it awful.
Mm-hmm.
So that's incentive to not break up, because it's not going to be fun.
Lord Jesus.
Have you seen how much I've interacted with the last person? None. At all.
Well, you don't have a reason to interact with her. Y'all ain't had no kids together?
We had stuff we had to do, and we talked to lawyers.
It's because he petty, y'all. Like,
I'll be petty, but I'm not interacting with these extraneous parties that aren't relevant.
Boom. So right here, prime example then. The next topic.
Let's get to it.
Next thing
Let's get to it.
We're going to touch on then, why is it taboo to discipline other people's kids? You're in a relationship with somebody,
mm-hmm.
and they have a kid,
mm-hmm.
and you spank said kid.
Correct.
Father of kid has questions about the spanking. He asked the mom, and he also asked you, or he just wants to have a conversation.
I'm gonna leave him on red.
Lord Jesus.
I am hitting that red button when he calls.
Oh,
you can, whatever questions you got, talk to her. Simple.
You would literally make life so much more difficult for no reason, just because you want to be antisocial.
Then her and her kid can keep on stepping, keep on pushing. Problem solved.
Don't you press that button one more time?
I'm just saying, like, what are we doing? Where y'all fail. Once you fail and y'all quit, you lose certain privileges. You lose certain responsibilities to a certain extent, depending on how the life situation is set up. We were just watching what you didn't watch the most recent Insecure episode. And Lawrence is still in San Francisco. And
hey, don't the proof. Spoiler alert! No, I plan on watching it tomorrow.
Okay, well, I have another example. Well, when you have kids, like, that's not my thing, and it sucks for the kid. I'm aware it sucks for the kid, but that's on them. Like, if we don't work and our kids get caught in the middle, as we have dealt with parents that didn't work, we get caught in the middle, and it sucks. But I can tell you that my parents did not have a successful co-parenting relationship.
And that's why I'm saying, like, I don't know how many successful.
I've seen some of my peers are in successful co-parenting relationships. Some people I'm actually pretty close with, I care a lot about. And some are maybe heading down that road. But I don't want that. I've never wanted that. You were the first person I ever dated that had a kid. And that's only because we had history long before your kid. I purposely steered away. If you would have told me you had a kid, or not you, but generally speaking, if I found out you had a kid, and the other thing about you is your kid's parent wasn't in the picture.
Right, he passed away.
Right. So that was kind of like,
go ahead and say it.
It didn't really matter. It didn't exist. Like, he's gone. But in other situations, like I avoided that like the plague. Like that is not what I'm
And
doing.
personally, I didn't like. I can think of maybe one or two guys that I dated that had kids, and as soon as like any of like the baby mama drama stuff started happening,
Yeah.
I was out. Like, and I was
It
out
happens more
fast.
times than not. This idea of this successful co-parenting relationship, that's for like rich people. Like poor people.
That's not true.
That is.
One of my mom's girlfriends, she has
So she's poor?
No, I mean no, I mean she makes decent money. Like she's yeah, that's beside the point. She has kids.
Mm-hmm.
She has twin boys with her.
Oh, congratulations!
Her ex. Yeah, they're the cutest things. They're older than our boys are.
Yeah,
they're like elementary school, middle school ish age. But I see the relationship that she has with her ex. Like they co-parent so well together. Like they do stuff.
You just said she has a good job.
But so does he.
You're making my point.
What does that have to do
when
with
you're
anything?
really rich? It's when you do really well, it makes it a lot easier to co-parent. When somebody stops, when somebody ain't giving child support, when bills ain't getting paid, when phones are getting cut off, like it's different.
And I don't disagree with that.
When you just said one of the two reasons that relationships fail is sex and money. So if the money's bad in a co-parenting situation, that situation's bad. And when we watched Mayor of Easttown, where there was a whole bunch of drama because the dad didn't want to pay for ear surgery, and it caused drama. And there's a bunch of different shows and real life examples where
there was a lot of drama in that show for a plethora of reasons. Like Mayor of Easttown was just one big cesspool of nasty, murdering people.
I don't even know what that means, but okay, we'll go with it. But I just feel like co-parenting is a lot easier when you have money. And typically the people that are having to co-parent aren't the people with the money because generally speaking, society doesn't have money. There's like a lot of people here, and then there's a bunch of people down here. But disciplining other people's kids, I think you got to keep your mouth shut.
Why?
Because you're not a part of it. And if someone's in any man that allows someone to come in his home and he can't discipline him, I question his manhood. You are not going. I've said this from the beginning for everybody. Like, if you're going to come in my house and think you're going to disrespect me, you're not going to be in my house. And I feel like as a man, as the head of the household, you should make sure that's taken care of.
Don't do it.
Like, I don't know why that's even a debate. And so I've had conversations. We've talked about some of our friends and women, like, or women or men, or how vice versa. But if we're dating and we're in a relationship, I'm not keeping my mouth shut if you got a disrespectful bad kid.
Yeah.
If your kid is acting crazy, either you're going to do something about it or I'm going to do something about it. Because if you bring them to my house and they start terrorizing my house, they are going to terrorize themselves right over the balcony. Over the balcony. The fastest exit I can find, that's where they'll be going. And they will learn that there is a standard. And they'll adhere to the standard. Mm-hmm. And if they don't, we'll find various ways of helping implement that ideology into their little minds. So they'll know I could be crazy everywhere else, but when I go to his house, get some act right.
That's interesting take on that. I agree to an extent. Like, if you have bad kids, 9 times out of 10, you know your kids are bad. Like, you do. You know your kids are bad. And then taking your bad kids, especially when you take your bad kids around someone who doesn't have kids or someone who doesn't deal with kids on a regular basis, and your kid is at their house acting a fool, or just anywhere for real, acting a fool, like that is breeding ground for misunderstanding. Because one, I'm not gonna let your kid tear up my house. Like, it's not happening. Like, have you ever seen that meme on Instagram? It's like your friend comes over with their kid and they're jumping on your couch and and you want them to stop, but the mom of the kid is just like, nah, just leave them alone, or they're gonna be upset. And so it's like, what would you do? Well, the answer is I'm knocking that little kid off my couch and telling him to go sit down somewhere. That's, I guess, the politically incorrect answer. Um, but I'm gonna have a conversation like, you don't let kids run you in
Yeah.
any way, shape, or form ever, no matter where you at, what you're doing, or anything like that. Disciplining someone else's kids, though, I think that's different, especially if you don't have the kind of relationship with the person, family, friend, whatever, to discipline someone else's kid. That's kind of like overstepping your boundaries a little bit. You kind of, you, I mean, it's not kind of, you have to have a conversation about that before you just start.
Yeah, I can't just grab him by the neck and push him up against the wall.
Well, you definitely just said you throw him out over the balcony.
Yeah, that's after we had a conversation. Or in the example you gave where someone comes over, like, and we've had that happen to a certain extent. There ain't nobody jumping on the couch.
Yeah.
But I just, hey, can you get your kid? Or like, hey, I'll say something like, hey, we verbally that I'm having to get your kid. So I am verbally getting your kid.
Yeah.
Now, fortunately, we've never got to a situation where we really had no bad kid. There was this one kid you brought over here, and I ain't say no names because I don't know if they're watching, their friends and family, but we had some young ladies that's come over here and not been when we had sleepover, wasn't the most civilized people. So, sometimes you just gotta, hey,
get your life.
Yeah, we're not gonna do that. And if you leave your kid with me, I'm gonna, be respectful.
And then that's another point though, because if you leave your kid with me, then it's my rules. And my rules say that if your kid is disobedient, I can discipline them.
Now, I wouldn't put my hands on said kid if it's not my kid without a conversation, but you're going to do some push-ups. You're going to put your face against the wall. You're going to do some wall sits.
Yeah.
You're going to do something.
You're going to do something so that you understand that the behavior that you are displaying in my presence is unbecoming. I don't like it, and it needs to stop.
And if it don't, I'm calling your parents and
they gotta come get you. And I'm never watching your kid again.
So
not never.
Yeah,
I've had this conversation before.
Good. Get them out of here.
So yeah, go ahead. You put it on the list. I'm trying to figure out where you're going with it.
So
I don't know where he's going with this, y'all.
So this is definitely a completely different direction. But society will tell you, and so I've seen a couple lady comments, and this is fine because I'm good with it. So society says, you know what, the ideal way that you date is you find a young lady, say you're at a club or a bar or you're out. The normal thing to do is what?
Buy him a drink?
Buy him a drink.
Okay.
So I buy you a drink. And conversation's cool. We kicking it. So you know what we do? Buy another drink.
Buy another drink.
And this might go on for, maybe an hour or two. Things are good. And now the night's coming to an end. So you might exchange numbers. And you say, you know what? I'm going to hit you up later. And it was a good vibe. You had a good time. And you call you. I'm going to text you. Hey, let me know when you get home. Text me. Make sure you're good. All that. I might even call you an Uber. Because I'm a good guy.
Oh, he's a good guy now. Okay.
And so throughout the week, we talking and we texting and we FaceTiming and chit-chatting and Skyping or whatever we're doing.
Skyping. People still do that?
I don't know. Whatever. So then, we decide, we're going to go out on a real date with just us.
Take it to the next level.
Take it to the next level. We go out to a nice, we had this discussion about restaurants. So, we go to Chili's. No. We're not going back down that road. So we go to Chili's. Chili's is fair. You got some decent food. It's not too expensive, but you can get some steak. Steak's decent. It's not great, but it's not terrible. It's solid. Okay. Come out sizzling. We even share a dessert. And then the bill comes. You know what the waiter's going to do? They're going to put it in front of the man. And the man's going to say, all right, I got that. And that is how society says dating and courtship should go. Fair?
Fair.
So what I'm saying here is the reason the man typically, I'm talking as a man, so hear me out. I'm talking as a regular man, not a Christian sanctified saved man. I'm talking as a regular man.
There's a difference, okay.
A regular heathen man. A regular, primal man.
Go ahead and get to the point, boy. What you say?
As a primal man, I am doing these things. I'm spending this money for a reason. The reason is because I want to sleep with you. And you know this. I didn't come talk to you because I wanted to know more about your personality or your fake eyelashes or your long nails. And so my premise to this is women, I know this is going to be uncool for you guys. Y'all are sex sellers. You pimp men out for these drinks and these dinners, and all you're doing is selling sex. You're no different than a sex worker.
What in the world?
What?
What are you smoking?
It's the same thing.
That is not the same thing.
How is it not?
One, a sex worker ain't just gonna go on a date with you and not get paid first.
You're getting paid.
Time is money.
The woman is getting paid. In this date, you got drinks.
No,
that's paid.
That's not paid.
I paid for your Uber home.
We watched that one.
I paid for your food, your dinner.
No, that's not payment. Like you're still.
How is it not?
Time. Like, fine, if you want to have this conversation as unsanctified, unchristian people, one, just to be we watched that episode of Joe Budden podcast, just to have a conversation with me as a sex worker. One, my time is money. So I'm charging you for just occupying my time.
You know how I got your time?
No.
I bought you the drink.
No, that don't count.
What do you mean it doesn't count?
It don't count.
How does that not count?
You fine. You want to count?
You were not talking to me until I bought the drink.
Fine. So you want to say that the drink counts? Fine. The drink counts. But there's nothing that's going to obligate me to give you my phone number.
You're right. But once you and so that I'm glad you make that point. So if somebody came up and is like, "Can I buy you a drink?" and they buy you a whack cheap drink, the likelihood of them getting your phone number plummets. Generally speaking. Now, if somebody shows
you a whack cheap drink, they ask you what you're typically bar etiquette. They ask you what you're drinking, and they buy you what you're drinking.
Correct. So my point being, if they change it, or you can see based on what they're ordering you is, or say you want a shot, and someone says, "Go get them the Goose," or "Go get them a Patron," or a Henny. That's one thing. If they say, "Go get the real drink," that conversation goes different. Women are going to feel different. His look, everything about his aura, he's selling himself, and so are you. You, not you. Women, you got dressed up in that outfit for a reason.
Yeah, to attract.
You are that is advertising.
Yes.
So when you put on all that makeup, when you put on those nails, when you have those skims on underneath, or those tight spandex things that you're wearing, or whatever it is that your outfit is, because grown and sexy, you're selling the sex.
No, you're not.
Yes, you are.
You're not.
You did not go get that dress that has your woman business. I don't know what I can say because of our audience. You don't have all that stuff hanging out super tight for you, because you know why? As soon as you get home, you take it off.
Yeah, because once you get home, you can just be comfortable.
So why you couldn't wear that comfortable thing out?
Because if you're going out, you want to look good. You want to feel good about yourself.
So you don't feel good about yourself at home?
You do.
So then why you can't wear that same thing when you go out?
Because
you're selling it to somebody to come get you. You're home, you're miserable, you're lonely with your cat, and you want somebody that's going to be able to come home and take care of you and be the man and the faithful steed of your home. And so you put those clothes on and you shake your tail when the songs come on so that you can have somebody come up. You are selling sex.
Bro, what are you smoking? What are you like?
That's facts.
That's not facts. There are plenty of women all the time that go out. Like, prime example, I don't go out and sell sex.
You don't dress like that. Your wardrobe from when you go out now to when you used to go out has changed.
Slightly.
How?
Some of the stuff that I used to wear out, I still own and wear out.
Wait, what you wear that you used to wear to the club?
Lately I ain't been nowhere to go nowhere because the world been shut down and I'm pregnant for forever. But before that, like, I have a bunch of cute little dresses that I would wear to go out. And
without me?
Yeah. I'm not dangling and hanging loose and jiggling and wiggling all over the place, but they're nice, they're form-fitting, and they show off my assets.
And you initially bought them why?
Because I liked how I looked in them. It wasn't necessarily always about making sure that I look good for a man.
You're going to say that?
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
You can have the same conversation with a plethora of women. We don't always get dressed and go out for y'all.
That's
a lot of times we get dressed and go out and stunt for other women. So other women can see how great and fabulous we look.
And that's even dumber.
For compliments and all of that. But
so you have low self-esteem.
But it's not
So always... are you confident in yourself or not? Because if you're confident in yourself, you don't need a woman to validate you. And most women are haters and bitter anyway. So you're not even going to get that.
That's not true. I get compliments all the time when we go out. Even now. There was one time when we were leaving from Costco and this lady was riding past in her truck or whatever. She rolled down her window. She's like, "Girl, you look good." And I was like, "Thank you, sis." Yes. Like, it's not necessarily about not having self-esteem or not feeling good about yourself. But you get up, you get dressed, you look a certain way because you like the way you look when you got everything popping and going on the way it's supposed to be popping and going on. It's not always about the opposite sex or even necessarily other people complimenting you. You get up, like, if I bought you some shell toe Adidas, would you wear them?
No.
Why not?
I don't like them.
Why?
I just don't like the shoes.
Society has told you they're not cool anymore.
I wear a bunch of shoes that society says is not cool.
I don't see them. What shoes?
You don't like having any of the shoes I get.
I don't like them because I'm not a sneaker freak like you. Phone posits. I like the way they look. Hideous.
But I like the way they look.
Popular
shoes. Those shoe trash shoes I got. I got those.
Mad people wear those.
They wasn't wearing them. They wasn't wearing them before.
Bruh, you ain't that much.
They wasn't wearing them before.
Like the Cactus Jacks, the Yeezys, the Yeezy slides, the runners. Like, you wear stuff specifically
that I like.
Brand names. You wear brand names because
only the ones I like. Because I think the designs are dope, typically.
And so we've had conversations amongst ourselves where you say, "Man, I gotta get better at promoting our stuff. I gotta get better."
I do.
But what was your reason as to why you don't wear it more? Because it's not as cool as the other stuff.
Yes, that exists, but that's not why I bought it. That wasn't why I bought it. There's a bunch of stuff there's brands I buy that people don't wear. Most people I hang around don't even know the stuff I'm wearing.
Really?
You think the people at church are worried about the billionaires' clothes that I'm wearing?
What's his face when we went and did the couples night? Recognize what you had on. Ooh. Ian.
That's Ian because me and Ian have a high fashion connection.
Yeah. But no, so you're talking.
But I didn't wear. I didn't even know Ian was going to be there, so I didn't wear it for Ian. That's not the point.
You had no idea who was going to be
there. Right. So you
put your clothes on the way that you put your clothes on because you like the way you look, you like the way they make you feel, and you're confident in what you wear. Women are not always just getting dressed and putting our clothes on to advertise sex. So it's and then you said in your own premise, the only reason you came up to me to begin with is because you want to have sex with me. It ain't the other way around.
No. Stop. I said as a carnal man, that's the thought. That I'm not the carnal man. So you gotta take me up out of there. Because I'm not using me as an example. I'm saying the average individual.
So
that's what they're wanting.
As someone who was a heathen before we got together, average man, I already know probably what the conversation is going to be like before you even open your mouth. I let you open your mouth. I let you say what you're going to say. I'll exchange numbers with you. I'll have a conversation with you. But you can always tell when a man is just looking for sex.
That is a lie. You know how many baby mamas is out here bitter and mad? Summer just made a whole album. You think she knew London was going to be trash?
I didn't say being in a relationship.
There's so many women.
Said when you know when someone's just looking for sex.
What you think a man's looking for? He want to get to know what about you?
Everything.
Why you think a man is spending money on you out of the goodness of his heart? Because he's just a giving individual.
Bruh, one, calm down. Men who, if you're dating, you're in the dating world and you're dating with intention or whatever, you have a different level of discernment from somebody who's just out here to be out here to be out here.
You're giving people way too much credit.
No, I'm not.
Okay. We disagree.
Okay.
Women are selling sex.
And men are continually buying it.
I 100% agree with you. Whatever. I never said that. But the reason we're buying that drink is because, and why we go to that woman, and why, especially in social media today, every woman looks the same, is because they're all selling the same thing and they're all competing with one another. Mm-hmm. And so to your point, when I used to go out to a college party, I cared a lot more about what I was wearing then because I had a goal in mind. Mm-hmm. I didn't go out the house in a wife beater and some basketball shorts and some slides to said club. No, I wore decent clothes. Now I might have worn some trash shoes because college parties is nasty and dirty. But generally speaking, when I was going out to go hunting, like, you put that stuff on. But you put that cologne on.
And okay.
You get that haircut right.
I hear you. But the premise of this, women are just out here selling sex or whatever you want to call it because of what we wear and how we present ourselves is wrong. Because
it's not.
It is, because when a woman will get hit on regardless of what she's wearing. I didn't tell you about this because I didn't because I didn't think it was that serious. I think I went to Walmart for something. I can't remember what I was there for. And this white guy, and he was old and he wasn't my type. Let me not go there. He wasn't my type. But he saw me walking. I'm pushing the cart to go to the kids section. I was going to get diapers. Saw me walking, but I hadn't gotten to the kids section yet. So maybe he didn't see my belly when I was walking, but I know what I look like. And I didn't look like I was just there to be trying to pick up a man to go back to my place to smash. Like, I looked super regular. I didn't have no face bead. I didn't have my boobs all out. And I am clearly pregnant. He ain't see none of that. He saw an attractive woman that he could potentially get to know. He walked past me at first, and I kept on about my way. But then he turned around, and came and found me. And then when I guess because of my position, he could see, one, that I was clearly pregnant. And I think he looked at my finger and was like, oh, she's married too. And he was like, dang, but the other word. And I was just like, yeah. And I went on about my business. It's not always about what you have on.
You realize you just made my point so perfectly.
I look super basic.
That thing did. Cut out.
Ray broke the camera.
I didn't break it.
Crap.
I didn't break it. And I'm about to crack these muffins because I got some good stuff that's coming. How do
I think you have to enter back in. Hold for just a brief moment, y'all, please. Oh, let's see. Reggie says, bro, even when you get married, sex is a huge part or could be a huge part of the marriage. Women in clubs know what it is when it comes to these men, and they want from them when they meet men in the club. No.
How you gonna tell the man no?
Oh. Can you fix it? You got us on this low HD video.
You gotta buy us a new camera.
What?
I don't know why the laptop can't so bad. All right, we're at. Put me in the game, coach.
Switch the camera around, bro. We looking at your tummy. There we go. Then Tiana says, you better check his stuff tonight because he definitely smoked. Yes, sis, he is smoking something. Right. Now I don't appreciate it.
So I'm going to explain what you said. So you said you went out, didn't have your face on, right?
Right.
Real regular looking, right?
Mm-hmm. I wasn't advertising anything.
Perfect. But you also said, what kind of pants were you wearing?
Sweatpants.
So I know pretty much every pair of pants you have.
Yeah.
There's not any that really fit loose.
That's not true.
I ain't seen it.
And see, again, so you tripping. Because I do have loose fitting sweatpants.
Where they fit loose at?
Everywhere.
That's a lie. Stop. Stop it.
Stop it. Don't make me go get them. I'll go put them on right now.
Go look at our social. Go look at her social media, and go look at all her pants, and comment on one that says loose fitting pants.
Well, one, I don't have a bunch of full body pictures on my page. Let's start there.
Well, that's a personal issue. So my point in this is, you said he walked past you. How did he walk past you?
Like, I'm walking. You know how our Walmart is set up. I'm walking, got the buggy in front of me, and like he's walking head on. Like the women's clothing section is here.
So it was head on, right?
Yeah.
And then he walked past you.
Yeah.
You know what he did?
What?
Turned around.
Yeah.
You know what he saw? Something that looks appealing to him. At which point, he didn't stop you when he looked at you head on. He stopped you when he saw you walk past.
But we made
no.
The reason why I even noticed him is because I made eye contact with him. Like I saw him see me. Yeah. He had a reaction before I walked past him. But I, being the wonderful person that I am, just kept walking.
Okay. And then you can feed into this delusion.
Bruh.
And then, because he didn't see the belly, and he didn't see the ring when he walked in you head on. What the man saw was a nice tail. And at that point, he's like, you know what? I need to go back and figure this out one more time. At which point, he realized, dang, I'm too late. So again, you have exquisitely made my point as to what men are looking for and what women are selling. Because nowadays, no woman goes to the store in baggy sweatpants. Everybody, no butt having white women is going with the little squishy looking, what is it, Amazon yoga pants.
I don't really own any pants like that.
I'm not talking about you. You're married with 4 kids. Like, you should not go out like that. But let's go to, and I don't care where you are watching this at, because I see it all over the internet. Everybody's in spandex and tights. Everybody looks like they came from the gym, but the rest of their body tells you they don't ever go to the gym. So even in that, and women say, oh, it's just so comfortable. Oh, it just feels so good. That is BS. Women 30, 40 years ago went out the house looking way different than women today. Because women today are selling sex. Even if they know they can't move forward on it, just what did Aisha Curry say? I just wish somebody else would holler at me, but they don't talk to me because they know I'm Steph's girl. Even somebody like her needed that validation. So how much more do you think these regular chicks out here need that same level of validation from men, or in your case, from women? And you know how you get that? By selling what you got. Whether it's your face, whether you look like Coil Ray, you got a pretty face and nobody, or you look like Megan Thee Stallion and you're 7'6". It doesn't matter. You're all selling something. She's selling hottie sauce. You know she's wearing her hottie sauce commercial for Popeye's chicken? Something that you selling sex for. That's what it is. There's no cut cards. There's no judgment. We know what it is. I know what I'm trying to buy. Brittany and the rest of them. All of them selling it. All I'm saying is own it. Own it. You selling it. stand in front of her. I'm done.
Good. Because that was all bull crap.
I just spit facts.
It wasn't. It's not facts. Like, it's what you feel is facts. It's what you feel is accurate. But there is no accuracy. That's just all judgment and just.
It's not judgment. I just said that.
Like, bro, you had some points tonight that I tried to ride with you for, but you're just talking out the side of your face at this point. Completely ridiculous.
So for the sake of time, we'll skip.
No, just go. No? Just roll with it, because you messed up the camera. And
I messed up the camera?
I ain't stuttering. This guy.
Okay. So this is another thing that I see talking about. We literally had a similar incident of it. The idea that I believe there's a 48-hour rule. If a show premieres, y'all, the person you're in a relationship with, there's 48 hours. After 48 hours, if you don't make the time, because women are so quick to tell you that things that are important in your life, you will make the time for. If he's not making time for you, sis, it's because he don't want to be with you. So keep that same energy when it comes to TV shows.
Why are you attacking women tonight? Like, you were just on this woman-hating frenzy, and I don't like it.
Because the examples that I'm giving, they're women things.
Jesus. Okay, go ahead.
So, my point is, 48 hours, after 48 hours, men, you can watch the show. It's okay. Now, as you just saw earlier, you probably can't talk about it. You got to find somewhere else to talk about it. But, watch the show. You don't have to deprive yourself of the enjoyment of television because someone else refuses to make the time. So, kings, put your crown back on, put your big boy pants, and you watch that show.
You were so full of crap.
What?
You were so full of crap. Like, there are shows that I've been saying, hey, we need to watch forever. Forever. See, came back 2 months ago. I'm sure it's over at this point. You were like, nah, let's let a few episodes build up before we watch it.
We can watch C tonight.
No, we can't. I got work to do tonight.
You always got work to do at night.
When else am I supposed to work?
I'm just saying, that ain't the reason we're not watching C ain't because of me. I'm caught up on all my shows.
My Hero Academia. All you watch is sports when I want to watch TV.
That's not true.
Yes, it is.
How did I watch all of Insecure? I'm caught up in Insecure. I'm caught up on BMF. I'm caught up in Succession.
I don't watch BMF. And Succession, I only watch because of you. So I don't care.
My point
But the shows that we watch together.
My point is.
The shows we watch together.
My point
first Sunday,
is.
I was gone out of town for a funeral, but he watched it anyway.
Yep.
The second episode, it hadn't even been 48 hours yet. And you watched it.
You had already missed the first episode.
But I had caught up on the first episode.
I didn't know that. You didn't
because you didn't ask. You jumped yourself into bed and watched the show without me.
Really
you do it all the time.
Yeah.
And then you get upset when you think I've watched something without you, and I haven't.
What I think you watched without me?
I don't know, but you be thinking it, and I don't.
So you've watched close to 3,000 One Piece episodes where you had plenty of time for us to watch My Hero, and to the point where you said we had to wait. We waited because you don't want to watch it in dub.
No. You
don't want to watch My Hero in Japanese.
One, that's not why we waited to watch My Hero.
So why we wait?
My Hero we waited to watch because we wanted to wait for a few episodes to be available.
No, I didn't.
And then we haven't watched C for the exact same reason. Those are the words that came out of your mouth.
Yeah, but as I said, we can watch C tonight. Like, my point I was trying to make is I'm watching my shows. Someone that says all I do is watch sports.
Because you do.
I don't.
If I went unmuted the TV right now in the living room, it was playing a basketball game when I came down.
Yeah.
As soon as the boys went down for their nap this afternoon, you turned on Skip and Shannon.
Because it's a
the
show
other day,
record.
yesterday, I don't watch The Bachelorette. I don't really pay attention to The Bachelorette, but I could have been watching it last night. I called you down for dinner. I'm making your plate.
Yeah.
And you changed to some stupid college basketball game.
This is college basketball kickoff.
I don't care. we're always watching sports.
We could have watched something else.
We couldn't have, because you was watching sports.
I don't even know who was playing. I don't. Because I wasn't really watching. And I'm pretty sure I went upstairs after.
But I stayed down here to clean up.
Okay.
And work.
Okay. What are you saying? My point is.
All right, Kings, he said that it's okay to watch the shows without your partner.
You got 48 hours.
You got 48 hours. Keep that same energy. That's all I'm going to say.
Because it's going to get to a point where I'm going to start watching, see, because I'm almost caught up on everything else I can watch.
Whatever.
I'm going to finish this Cap episode tonight, maybe, and then I'll be done with that, so I don't think I'll have anything.
Uh-huh. I hear you.
Caught up on Blacklist, caught up on all of it.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, whenever you want to put some time and we can watch TV together, just let me know.
Whatever. Sleeping positions. What are the society norms, no-nos for sleeping positions?
Ah, I'm glad you asked. So you and I actually had a conversation the other night where we were cuddled up in romantic bliss. And I chose it because I was up. And society will tell you the way to sleep, if you watch your TV shows, is where people are warm and embracing and loving each other and all blah, 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 blah. That's bull. No one sleeps like that. It's miserable. The person with the arm underneath the other person, it's not comfortable. The arm goes to sleep, the arm dies, it tingles. If you leave it long enough, you probably have to amputate it. Like, it's just bad.
Really? Amputated?
If you get the pins and the things.
Just stop it. You over-exaggerate. Your whole life is just a big over-exaggeration. I cannot.
Have you ever been a person with the arm underneath?
I have been a person with the arm underneath.
It's miserable.
It is sometimes.
Yes. So my point is, if someone turns over, they're not rejecting you. They are choosing them. I can't go to sleep like that. It's not comfortable. It becomes hot. It becomes, and I told you the other day, I thought you peed on me. Like, what?
Because you sweat so bad in your sleep.
It wasn't me.
Yes, it was.
You were always hot.
Bruh, but I don't sweat in my sleep. You do.
That's not true.
Ray.
Lord today.
And so,
I don't know why you lying to people.
out of the sake of not embarrassing my husband, I'm not going to go and say what I was about to say. But, bro, you sweat all the time. You're a sweaty person.
What?
You are. You're sweating right now. Like, you sweat.
Yeah. It's hot in here. You be getting me going.
You're a sweaty person. You sweat all the time.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. And that's why I got up out of the bed to make sure, like legit, to make sure that I didn't really pee on myself. But I didn't. Where was all of the sweat when you moved away from me?
I don't know.
In the spot where you were.
Because it came out the back. That's why I thought it was me. It was so hot.
It's not me.
So the moral of the story here is,
my husband sweats.
Well, everyone sweats. But that's why people don't cover. Because it's uncomfortable. You end up sweating. I don't care who you are. And then it's a few things worse than sleeping than to roll into a wet spot. Like, it's miserable. And so, it's okay, ladies. He doesn't hate you. He's not texting someone else. He's not masturbating or something weird. He's simply trying to get good rest so that he can be his best self for you the next day.
You don't even believe that bull crap you be saying all the time.
What part of that did I believe?
All of it. He's just rolling over so that he can get some good rest so that he can be his best.
That's literally why I roll over so I can actually go to sleep. Because if I stay here, one, you're probably snoring or something like that. Or women with hair, the hair be in the face, so you'd be trying to move and duck and dodge the hair. Or when you're face to face, people's breath stink, or they'd be blowing on your face, and no one likes having someone this close That cracks me up. So it's just not cool. Falling asleep on top of someone, also miserable. Because once they fall asleep, it becomes dead weight. You'd almost die. Like, none of these things that the TV tells you are cool and romantic are actually cool and romantic. They actually make you angry. And then you want to kick the person, get them off you. Like, it's just not good.
But you do kick me.
Because you be coming on my side, mad times. And I be just, and I'm taller than you, but you put me in this little bitty corner because you be just sprawled out all the time.
Nah, that only happens now because I'm big and I'm uncomfortable and I'm trying to get comfortable.
You realize you've been pregnant like probably half our marriage?
Yeah.
So almost over half the time since we've been married, I've been getting pushed into some little corner of submission. Like, that's just what it is. The sheets on my side of the bed always are coming off because someone is taking care of the little spot that I had and just ripping it apart. And then the second I get up, someone comes and lays in that little spot. So by the time I get back, I guess I'll just start my day.
You done.
I mean, you can want to move to the topic, and then the last topic we have is full transparency here. Society tells us that
Tiana says he is reckless tonight. Tiana, he is. I don't, like I said, like I saw the notes for this episode, but I didn't really know where he was going with them. So I didn't make any modifications. I didn't ask any questions. I was just gonna roll with it. But had I known it was gonna be this inflammatory, I'd have had some notes.
Well, I think this is a lesson to be learned here. We'll be doing this at least one more time next week. So society's no-nos. I told y'all last week, and I'll tell you again tonight, I'm tearing them down. We're breaking free of these chains that society has put on us. So the last piece is, it's always been funny. It's always been kiki. It's always been cool. And men have just had to tuck it and eat it. Now women criticize how bad men are at sex.
Because y'all do be bad at sex.
And that could be true. I never had someone say that to me to my face. I've asked many times, and I might be one of those bad people. I don't know. I haven't had anyone say that, but it's possible. No one's perfect. I'm close, but I'm not there. I'm made in the image of the likeness of God, so God's perfect, so I'm pretty close. I just got a couple shortcomings, which I was a little bit taller. But there seems to be this double standard that women are great at sex. And y'all ain't. Like, y'all pretty lazy when it comes to it. In other different areas and avenues, you're just typically pretty average. Most men can't tell you that because we got to take what we can get. And it's better to have something average to below average over nothing. But this idea that all these women say, especially these rappers and entertainers, just have the most amazing, I think I can say box, if that's appropriate.
It's not, but okay.
Okay, sorry. It don't really be that great. Now, there are some, just like there's some men that, practice and are really good at it. Typically, low-income guys have more time to practice than high-value men. But that's not what's important here. The point being is on both sides there are people that are bad at sex. And I think it's important, if your relationship is to flourish and grow, that you should be able to tell your partner, you suck at this. And I love you, and I care about you. And you're important to me. This aspect sucks. And so I'm going to help you. I'm going to give you pointers. And for that man or woman, when they come to you and say you suck at it, you don't take it personally. You don't internalize it. You thank them because they're doing you a favor. They're saying, I won't cheat on you. I'm not going to leave you. I'm going to try to help you. And so I think we need to get to a point where you can tell someone, hey, you suck at it. But we're in this together. So we're going to keep fighting and we'll come out on top. Go ahead.
So, I don't know what to say or how to say it without incriminating myself or just sounding really bad right now. Jesus Christ. Then, generally speaking, obviously, I have Courtney, so I've had other partners other than my wonderful husband here. And I will say, most of my partners needed instructions to help aid in what the ultimate goal is in sexual intercourse. We'll just say it like that.
Mm-hmm.
But to say that women are, and there are women that brag about their sexual prowess.
If you ask any woman,
No.
you think everyone will say, yeah, my oral game sucks?
Yes.
I've never met one.
Right. And how often have you gotten bad head?
It's probably 50-50.
And when you ask all of them, they all said what?
It was great.
And did they like, yeah, I'm gonna knock your socks off, bro? Like,
they don't typically don't say that, but their demeanor about it in conversation is one of pride.
Right. So I've never met a man, not ever, not once, not never, who's ever said that he's not good at everything in bed. Period. And even
we watch
and y'all even lie.
With people, men are
no. And then y'all even lie about what you're working with. Like, full disclosure, because that's what we're about here, apparently. Like, I've been hit with the okie a few times. And I'm just like, whose picture of whose Wayne Trump did you send me? Because this ain't yours.
It happens.
No, it happens intentionally because dudes be lying. But like they lie about all aspects. And the disappointment or the anger that women feel, because that's what it is, the disappointment.
So anger. You sold all that sex and then you got it and it wasn't.
And it was trash. Because we know, well, anyone who,
has sex?
Yeah, I guess I'm trying to. People who have sex and can successfully make a woman orgasm without a whole bunch of help from the woman, those are people who I consider to be good in bed. On average, though, most men can't because they don't know what they're doing. And unfortunately, the reason why they don't know what they're doing is because some females have been lying to them their whole lives. So women, we do set ourselves up for this sort of failure. But at the same time, trying to tell a man, hey, I need you to do it like this. Hey, can you do it like that? Hey, I need you to put your finger here, this, that, and the third. Y'all don't always want to hear it. Even when we come in a gentle, like, non-offending way. Because y'all don't want to hear it. It's like that pridely man testosterone that says, yeah, I'm a man and I've got testosterone and I can please my woman no matter what's going on. And that don't be the case. It just don't. And that's no shade, but dudes be lying. And it's not easy to tell a dude, like, no, that's not working, sir. You need to take it out and start over again. And then a lot of times God just be ready to jump in and do what you do. You don't get nothing warmed up. You don't get nothing. Like, it just be so many opportunities for greater success. And men fail miserably. At least most women, if you tell them, they'll make adjustments. They will. I mean, I don't know how permanent set adjustments will be, but they will make adjustments. And people who are actually good at the things that say they're good at, sometimes it's good because they feel like it, other times it's good because they don't feel like it. But again, like, we can have this conversation. Like, I don't like how you looking at me. We can have this conversation off camera. But it's like, because you said women are lazy. And that's not always necessarily the
most
case.
women are lazy.
A lot of times, is that
if you had to put a clock of a woman, how many times she's either on her back or on her knees, not on top of a man, it's astronomical. It's like 90-10. If that.
I don't necessarily disagree with
That's
that.
lazy. That's the men doing all the work.
And then they still be cracking.
Not to them.
Right, because for a man, regardless of what's happening,
there you go.
As long as you're inserted and getting that friction, you straight. You gonna get to your end goal.
Correct.
No matter what.
That's what happens when you sell us the best. We go, most men, especially not in a relationship. My goal isn't to make you happy. My goal is to make me happy. Now, once you're in a relationship, yes, the priorities change. I'm someone that typically tries to help make sure that the woman is taken care of ahead of time. But sometimes I don't feel like it. And I know you brought up not warming it up. You're right. If I got to warm myself up, warm yourself up.
But by the time you are ready, it takes most men 3 seconds.
Right.
Let's just be realistic. I can pop out a chesticle and you be ready to go in a second. I can breathe on your ear nice and you be ready to go.
Yeah.
That's not how women work.
That's a God thing.
That's not my fault.
It's not mine either. So, I think you should be grateful for the opportunities you get where someone is willing to take the time. But the premise of all of this is, and I agree with a lot of your points, like, people get better at things with practice and instruction. You can sit somebody in the classroom every day, 365 days a year, but if they just sit there and no one's giving them maximum instruction, they ain't gonna learn nothing. So I think there's a level of education that needs to come in. And in a perfect world, I think parents could help guide this conversation, but that's super awkward. Yes, and that probably will never happen. So sadly, people got to try and figure it out on their own. And because of their pride and them not wanting to come off as a loser or some woman shaming him because it didn't go well, you just got to make it do what it do. And if you find something that works, you stick with it. And you're scared to try anything new because people make fun of you and belittle you, embrace you, and that can be crushing to a man or a woman. So if we get to a place where just like with farting and all the other things that we talk about today are okay, then we can all be better people. People will be less congested on the inside. People will be freer on the outside. Women will be self-aware enough that I know what I'm selling and you know what you're buying. And then when we finally get to have sex, we will work through it together so that it's mutually beneficial for us going forward.
Yeah, so I hear all that. But I feel like you just wanted an episode to rag on women. And it's cool. Like I get it. Get it off your chest and feel better about yourself and this interactions with women. But
so not dealing with kids' parents. Who was I getting on?
Women.
I was saying I don't want to talk to the dude. How was I getting on the woman?
Fine. So one of the topics.
Disciplining other people's kids? How did I rag on women?
3 of the topics then. But all the other ones?
We only had like 6. Farting around women, how to get on women. I was saying we should both be able to do it. Asking about debt and credit scores, I didn't say women have bad credit.
And that's what I said. Like 1,
the
2,
only
3.
topic that I got
so
on
all
women,
of the last topics.
Yes, because
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 topics. All of them. You just wanted to back off. I mean, it's cool. I get it. I understand. But
this isn't even gender specific.
All of your points, you looked directly at the camera and said, "So kings, just watch the show."
Okay, you're right.
48 hours.
Right,
you did. Like you went all the way.
But that's true for women too.
You went all the way.
If the man is not making time for you, watch your little show.
It's cool. It's cool because I'm going to.
Good. Me too. I'm caught up on my shows.
Look, y'all. it's just been an interesting evening to listen to what Mr. Bond Chronicles has had to say.
I'm just trying to help you
about some of these society no-nos and breaking down the walls and barriers so that
tear
we can
them
be
down.
more open and honest with each other. Like this was an interesting episode. Like I said, I did not know where we were going to go with a lot of this stuff.
I'll never let you down. I'll never lead you astray.
But it's been fun. It's been loads of fun.
Good. Well, I hope you guys had fun with us. Really, all of this is all jokes, kind of, but take the nuggets away. Yeah, what does it say? Take the meat and spit out the bones.
Yeah.
You might not always like the delivery. I promise you I won't lead you wrong. If you are lonely in this time as the weather's getting cold and warm, I highly suggest that you take the advice of the Oracle here.
The Oracle?
Yes.
Let's stop.
I might have to change my social media name to the Oracle of some kind. I'm simply telling you what's going to best position you. We want to open up lines of communication. In too many aspects of our lives, we're not willing to talk to one another because we're ashamed. We're bitter and upset on the inside because the gas is poisoning our inside because we won't let it out. We're miserable because we want to watch the show, but we can't watch the show because we watch the show without you. You're going to be upset and it's going to be an argument. So I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place. And then you finally do get to lay down next to your wife or your spouse, and it's disappointing. And not just once, but every single day. And so now you're no longer looking for it from your spouse. You're looking at what you see on TV from those Power episodes or the BMF episode or whatever those premium channels are showing, where it seems like it's just phenomenal, where it's just the epitome of climaxation. And you don't get that. You get stale, rusty. And so what I'm saying is, talk to that spouse of yours. Educate that spouse. Come to them in a place of love. Sit them down. Maybe over a nice candlelight dinner. Butter them up. Talk about how great they are. And then at that point, you can break it to them and give it to them straight. Baby, I love you. But you suck at sex. And at that point, I want to help you so that we can be great. It's not about me. It's not about you. It's about us. So we're going to work together. So they say, in life, things happen. You were meant to watch this episode. You have the power to choose what you do. You can walk away from this episode and not take any of the advice that I've given you. And that's perfectly fine, and I won't take it personally. But you have to choose wisely, because you will be responsible for the decision that you make. I will say, when it comes down to it, you always got to bet on you. Always bet on you. And if you have been blessed, and if your relationship takes off from here, I do ask that you are a blessing to us, because we have lots of kids, and there's lots of things we want to do.
Stop, baby!
But we require funds. So, the Cash App is available in the comments. We take all forms of payment. Definitely feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell, and go ring your partner's bell tonight. God bless. And we're out.